Welcome back. We officially got the keys down into the basement of CL. We've opened it up for these two teams. They are going to face off in an absolute dogfight, trying not to get relegated. And I see here that Cookies is not with us anymore because he was upset that I didn't know that he was with us last match, and he
Our
said,
condolences.
I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out.
You got your
So
favorite analyst.
I got him out of here successfully. Now, Connor, let's start off with Karn Co, a team with flashes of brilliance, but I feel like I say this every week and there's been less flashes.
Yeah, this is where I almost dare say the words wasted potential on the side of Karn Co. But sure, they have had a tough schedule. They've had a lot of close games, but this is a team that you look at on paper and you see a lot of experience and a lot of upside with a ton, if not all, of their players. However, there have been some massive issues, and it almost comes from a strategical sense of complacency. They haven't really innovated a whole lot. You know, you still have the Carnage B system that's been played for the last 2 years. There hasn't been any overall development with how the meta has shifted to a more aggressive side. Their defenses, they're all the same. Sit behind your shields, don't peek. And their attacks, they almost aren't built to kind of go up against the aggression that we've seen all these other teams start to employ. Still, Mikey having a great showing, started tapering off a little bit towards the back half when the team isn't struggling as the team is struggling overall. But hopefully he can bounce back too.
Now, Outlast, a team that has also been struggling. One of their victories, though forceful, has come against Aerial Arise. Of all teams, they've somehow... I struggle to figure them out at times.
Well, I mean, some teams just counter other teams perfectly, and I guess the nonsense that's been going on in Outlast is a perfect counter to what's going on with Aerial Rise. That being said, you know, you got a roster that's been in Challenger League for a while. You know, they fought their way back in through qualifications. They haven't been doing all that great as of recently. I mean, last week we saw Karn Co lose a 4v5, and then last week we also saw Outlast play probably one of the worst performances in CL I've seen in a long time against Nocturnes on Cafe. So overall, both of these teams are absolutely struggling. They both deserve to be in the position that they're in. But, you know, we're going to get to see that wet noodle fight coming out here from Outlast and from Karn Co today. It should be a good one.
Well, is it going to be a good one? Connor, is there a possibility that we see one or both of these teams actually decide to light it up, because there's a lot on the line?
Maybe. Because,
maybe.
I was saying with Karn Co,
I love the non-committal answer.
I'm like a politician skirting around this one because I'm not going to try to offend anybody on the side of Karn Co. Because I still love them. Still love them as players, but they are in a slump. This is 3 straight games of pretty handedly getting beaten in regulation. You know, 7-2, 7-3s. Not looking too strong. It's because a lot of the fundamentals, especially on the attacking side, are completely crumbling. The drone economy, it's just like our economy here. It's massively inflated. It's the value of a drone is just poof way down on the side of Karn Co. They do not value them at all. And overall, with this team, they're a team built for those 5v5 executes. They need all their pieces up on the board together, or else they're going to fail, right, Tanner?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If they don't have everybody kind of coming full swing, they're gonna have a hard time, especially against an Outlast team that kind of likes to experiment. They like to be a little bit, you know, off meta here. Kind of going into my critical points, I feel like the biggest thing for Outlast right now is they need to simplify. They need to stop trying to be meta definers. They need to stop like trying to bring out the Jaeger shotguns and the Oryx shotguns or the Zero every single round. Just keep it simple, take it to a simple map, play a game that you know you're going to be able to play. And then the last thing versus Karn Co, you can't give them that map control. Once Karn Co gets established, they've demonstrated that they're a very good team once they get established on their execute specifically. Now the goal for Outlast is don't let them get set up, counter them all they can, and then maybe they can help correct that negative 17 round differential that they currently have right now.
Well, moving into the map veto, Connor, do you feel like maybe Karn Co, it's a bit lopsided in their favor as far as map pool goes?
I would hope so. Because the one shining light in the side of Outlast is that, you know, on attacker side of maps, they've looked decent. They had that good result against Aerial Arise, which just seems to get better and better every play day. You just look at the showings, you're like, wait a second. They beat Aerial Arise? What the heck? And that was on a map like Chalet, which is a lot more attacker-sided, and most of the Outlast struggles have been trying to get into the building, get the bomb down. So, as the ban's going for the side of Karn Co, I would hope that they ban something like the Chalet, as well as the new maps of Skyscraper and Border, which lean a little bit more towards that attacker-sided facet. Right, Tanner?
Yeah, they definitely are far more attacker side. And once you get into these metas or these equalizer maps, like I'm looking at this, where are we going? Oregon's ban, clubs ban, borders ban. Ooh, are we going to get something spicy here?
Get
Are
a
we?
villa or cafe?
Ah, Villa. I mean, we haven't had Villa in a minute. I mean, both these teams, they've shown that they like to go to this map. It can be very attacker sided, but I feel like Karn Co might struggle to get in the building a little bit on this map. But if they can, I think they're going to roll all over Outlast. And then Outlast, I feel like, you know, they're just going to struggle in general. I think if they can get to the building and get set up, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I feel like both these teams, you know, have a lot left on the table to kind of prove to us right now. And I think Villa's a great, you know, map for them to go show that on.
Now, Outlast has gone to Villa. I see here, Connor, one time. It was a 3-7 loss, I believe. Did I have that right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they have been
3
losing
to
a lot more
7
games than
loss,
they've been
yeah.
winning, unfortunately.
Karn Co. They do not have a Villa under their belt. What do we expect from Karn Co. going to Villa?
I think we're still going to see a nice structured game come out of Karn Co. And with the kind of, you know, the build of the map, the architecture, it does lend itself more towards a strong defense if you can set up those shields, especially towards AVG, one of the strongest sites in the entirety of the game. You can really lock down, you can waste a lot of time, you can throw mini games like towards the way of Outlast that if they're not necessarily as strong with their utility down below, can get really messy and make it really hard to crack any of the bomb sites. So hopefully for Karn Co's sake, they can really bolster up those defenses as well. One of my favorite things about Mikey is how well he plays on Villa. He's an absolute demon. He just runs around in the basement and with an LMG and massacres everybody. It's very fun to watch.
Is there, Tanner, is there anything that Outlast can do on their own, you know, kind of aside from what Karn Co does, to swing it in their favor? Or do you think that they're going to be relying upon not only themselves playing well, but also hoping that, you know, Karn Co makes mistakes that they can capitalize upon?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that you hit it right on the head is the capitalizing piece. Like if they're going to be able to win, it's going to be on these entry picks. Once you get in Karn Co's face, you start destroying their drones, you start capitalizing off the picks. Karn Co will start to stall out on the attack. I think defensive half, you're looking to have a really strong defensive half and maybe swing that like mental gain that you get from having a good half into the attacking half and vice versa. I think they just need to come in there and just absolutely not let Karn Co get to that execute. And they might have a chance.
Do we, Connor, see with Outlast maybe leaning hard on that that entry duel? It's Jewel and Woos, is that correct?
No,
On
it's
their
Tra and Woos. Come
Tra
on,
and
man.
Woos. I'm
Gotta know
hey,
the next upcoming
This is
duo.
why you're the analyst. This is why you're paid the big analyst bucks, and it's to analyze. I just ask the questions, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Tra and Woos' shoulders, where they're going to have to rise up to a level against people like Xeno, Feltwinter, as well as Mikey coming at them with a lot more experience and arguably more mechanical skill. It's going to be an uphill battle, but I think that a lot of this can be mitigated if Outlast get a little bit creative. Tanner, you were saying that they should simplify things, but I think a funky ban might come through. We've seen a lot of success when the Outlast brought out that mute ban. You experienced that firsthand last stage.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I maybe a funky ban, maybe a little bit of individual play. You know, maybe Blank can come out and he can make it like a little bit of a lurker kind of gameplay. He might be able to catch some of the members of Karn Co off guard. But honestly, I don't. Villa's a map where like a big funky ban doesn't really impact the map all that much. Like it's very much, it's going to play out kind of the same way almost every time. It's like, is there a mirror or not, or is there valve cams or not? Those are kind of like your really big concerns. Maybe a Cade ban could go a distance here, but I don't really see, Connor, a type of ban that could basically just swing it completely in their favor like they did with Mute on Clubhouse last stage.
Yeah, my only thing is I think maybe Osa ban. We know Karn Co love that Osa. Could be fun.
Could be fun.
Here's what I find interesting, and I'll throw it back to you again, Tanner, is from a coaching perspective. You have this map, Villa. Obviously, it's, I wouldn't say cookie cutter at this point, but it's been around a while. There seems to be the ways in which people do things that don't change up too much. But isn't it interesting that you have a map like Villa that is as large as it is? You would think that would lend itself to more creativity, but we don't always see the biggest different plays coming out that we might see on other maps.
Yeah, I feel like Villa is one of those maps where like lurkers do really, really well. Like I was mentioning, Gotcha is a prime example from stage 2 and stage 3 of last year, who he would just lurk around the map and just be absolutely influential everywhere he went. And who knows, maybe Outlast, they took these last 2 weeks and they really defined their Villa. They went into the nitty gritty. They found those like little lurker plays that they want to make, those little micro plays that might be able to get them picks. But we're the only thing that's going to show us is the game footage itself.
Now, as we're going into this, we're going to get into that map in a sec, but this is, for all intents and purposes for Outlast, a must win at this point with so few games left. I wouldn't say that Karn Co is sitting pretty, like it's still that you don't want to lose this, but this is very important for Outlast. We are getting into that final and 5th match of the day. This could decide relegations. It's Karn Co taking on Outlast, going to Villa.
Like you said, Jonah, last game of the day. I'm not muted in TeamSpeak. You can hear me. That's a plus. See, we've improved, Jonah. It took 5 games.
Yes.
Or here. And you know what really sucks for Outlast 2? As important as this game is for both of these teams, even if Outlast take this in regulation, they're still in last.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
they need
second
this
to
win.
last, technically.
Technically, right, because the heist doesn't exist. But Outlast need this win badly if they want to avoid the relegation spot. Not because it will immediately get them out of the hole they're in, but it will get them closer. You've only got 2 games after today. We've got tomorrow's Playday and then one more Playday next week. They need these wins because Karn Co, they're also going to be racking up some wins. And being the team that's closest to the bottom, closest to Outlast on the leaderboard right now, Outlast need everything, every point they could possibly muster. They need it from this point forward. Villa, as a map, I think Outlast, they've got a chance here. This isn't a border. It isn't a theme or a sky. I mean, this is a standard map where they should be pretty comfortable on. It's just a matter of, can they prevent Karn Co from doing Karn Co things, playing loose, playing confident, and taking them down?
Yeah, and it's weird, too. Karn Co, like the analyst just mentioned, right? They started off so strong, and they looked like they were going to be a contender. I remember Connor kept talking about how Karn Co were his dark horse, break the top 4. This was their stage. And then you look at who they beat. And it was the Heist, Nocturnes, and Aqualix. 3 teams who are all in the bottom 5. And then now we have Outlast, who are also in the bottom 5. So maybe, Karn Co are going to get the bottom 5 boost. But considering the map at hand, it's definitely an odd one for these 2 teams in particular. Because remember, Outlast beat Okami on this map, and they looked really good, and we're like, wow, Outlast are bringing Villa out against Gaming Gladiators. They're going to be demons, and then they lost 7-3. And then they brought it against West Garfield Park, and we're like, hey, maybe they fixed their issues. And then they still couldn't attack, and they lost 7-3 again. On the other side, Karn Co haven't played it, but we're on Playday 7, and they've banned it 6 times.
Right, that's not a great sign for them, and it could be exactly why Outlast have brought it out, but I feel like our experience with Outlast as a whole, at least my experience, I'll speak for myself here, has been like, in every game we see Outlast play, it's like they have 3 rounds where it looks like they're good. Like,
Yeah.
it looks good. It looks coordinated. They have some sort of defensive setup that the attackers don't know what they're walking into. They play coordinated, but it's only for like a couple of rounds per map. And then for the rest, the other team just kind of dismantles them. And that's what Outlast need to avoid. It's just a matter of finding that consistency and finding something that works. Getting those little consistent rounds, the ones that work, trying to replicate them as much as they can. It's been a long stage for them. Obviously, it's been a tough stage. They haven't done so well. Only 1 regulation win under their belt, and I think 1 overtime win, potentially. But whatever the case,
Yeah,
they are sitting at the bottom of this leaderboard, and they need these wins. They got to start today. Play to number 7 with only 9 play days. It is long past due that they make a move.
Yeah, they technically really only have that overtime win against Aerial Arise, which is funny because,
true.
that was also, they beat them when they were Wichita Wolves. And then their regulation win is that forfeit against the Heist. So, like you said, a win for Outlast, 1 in regulation, is long overdue. Even an overtime loss at this point would be an improvement. Because I feel like, you mentioned your experience with Outlast. I feel like the entirety of production, like our relationship with Outlast is like a disappointed dad. We're like coming into the season, right? We were all hyped about Outlast. The entire production crew were like, yeah, Outlast is back in. You know, they got kind of screwed by licensed stuff. Whatever. They fought their way. They're going to be so good. Tra and Woos look so good. And then they've just kind of stunk. And it's been really disappointing because I want to support Outlast, right? That's why my prediction percentage is 52 freaking percent. Because I have tried to support Outlast so many times. I'm like, yeah, this is the week that they learn how to attack. And then it just goes out the window. But I mean, hey,
Yep.
at least they're starting on defense for this map. Maybe they'll be able to rack up the score.
Yeah, and on Villa especially, they've got to make a statement on defense quickly. If they allow Karn Co to run all over them, then, you know, it's curtains. That's the map. We won't expect Outlast to make any sort of crazy attacking comeback. They've got to start clean. We finally have our Karn Co players in the lobby and ready to go. They did decide to take an hour and a half to get things started, but now that they're here, we can get started as well. And I know our analysts were hypothesizing about operator bans here and there. Is Outlast going to ban the OSA? Because that's something that Karn Co like to do. I'm not entirely sure that these two teams are going to get all that creative. It is Villa after all.
Yeah, OSA on Villa, we've seen her like a couple times, but she's not a mainstay, and I don't think she's powerful enough to really warrant a ban. Thatcher is first from Outlast, so no funky ban just yet, like Connor was hoping for. Karn Co probably also going to be very standard. Yep, Flores on Villa, very common operator for taking out stuff like shields, banshees, evil eyes, any sort of indestructible utility, what have you. And I mean, considering these two teams, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just Mira Valk on the defense as well.
Yeah, the Valkyrie on Villa with all of the Nitro Cell potential, especially the way attacking teams usually clear out this map. It's something I say pretty often when we go to Villa, but it's something that's always worth mentioning because those black eye cameras can add so much to that defensive side. Obviously, if you don't have that intel, sometimes defensive teams do like to bring out the Echo or snag a couple of drones as a Mozzie in an effort of compounding that intel in some way. But for now, it looks like Outlast will be sticking with a tried and true, not so intel-focused setup. They've got the Vigil coming out from Woos, and potentially also some roam presence in either Tra or Blank if they want to go for any sort of aggression. But starting downstairs on Kitchen and Dining, rather than a roam, I suspect we're going to actually see a bit of a top floor extension. An effort to hold that is usually what defensive teams like to do.
And they'll have a lot of drone denial to try and supplement that. We know how much Karn Co like their drones, and if you disrupt that, they struggle a lot, right? We saw it against ATK. We saw it against West Garfield Park. We've seen it against so many teams. If they play forward and they play to kill the drones, then Karn Co can't really do a lot. And it's really confusing to see Karn Co play like that, because it's not just like their drones getting shot too, and that prevents them from droning. It's like a complete ignorance to angles. Like, they'll drone a position, the drone will get shot, and then they won't even recheck it. They'll just like walk through the doorway 30 seconds later and then die because the guy is still there. So Karn Co have had some very peculiar play off of their intel or lack thereof towards this season so far. But I know we mentioned, you know, Osa not being a mainstay on this map, but Xeno's going to play her anyway.
Yeah, seeing Xeno come out with the OSA is, I guess, I mean, surprising for most teams and most comps, but, you know, like we've talked about, Karn Co have brought her out before, so it is not all that shocking to see her in the mix. It is surprising, and I am curious to see what exactly Feltwinter Xeno will do with her. Feltwinter, as he pops up and actually just gets fried by Jewel to kick off the round, will...
was that?
Yeah, be the first player to fall. Was that laundry door? No. A rappel? Yes.
Oh, the pantry rappel.
Okay, so I guess he just wanted to establish some early pressure. Jewel just swings it and wins.
Yeah. Incredible shot. It must have been, but we didn't see it, but that's okay. The top floor clear will begin. It's Mikey at the helm. He's done a little sledge work in Master. He's going to try and do more in Bathroom. He's playing a dangerous game right now, and he'll take a few shots from Woos as he tries to do even more work. He's got a nade cooked. He'll send it down, but it will be immediately ADS'd because there hasn't been any utility clear in the site just yet. Karn, though, will establish that long angle from the pantry window in through the site. Tra might be looking to get active because after all, Mikey is pretty much alone. He really just has Whitlock on his bathroom window, but even then, the Nomad's going to start to fall off. He just narrowly spots Tra on that bricks door, but Whitlock will disengage. That leaves Mikey upstairs alone. Sure, he can hold back these defenders, but he's not going to be able to fully use his vertical play.
Oh, well, here comes Zeno. Osa shield down, and the bomb can follow.
Wait, there's no C4s.
Yeah, they're gone. Jewel has to just walk up. Is
Wait,
Whitlock
what?
gonna protect him? Hello? Mikey gets one back, but a critical mistake. Now Karn Co just have to frag their way out of this hole. Blank and Atheno, I mean, they've got some HP to work with, Blank less so. Whitlock and Mikey will now be dual wielding this one, and well, Mikey, he's not going to leave his teammate out to dry. He will actually protect him, swing the angles, unlike Whitlock did just a moment ago, and that is enough to put Karn Co over the top, but a peculiar set of events there, with Whitlock just allowing his teammate to get vaulted on and killed.
That round is freaking ridiculous. That was strange. I don't know what Whitlock was holding that he couldn't see or even hear the Cade run up, because Cade is a loud dude. I mean, he's 3 armor. He's also like 6'5". His steps are monstrous. I don't know how Whitlock didn't just swing the corner and kill him there. Either way, Whitlock got the refrag and got another. So he did get the necessary trades. Then you have Mikey come downstairs in the 2 versus 2 after getting one upstairs on one of those roamers and was able to frag, just covering Whitlock, as Whitlock should have been, like you said, on Karn. But either way, huge misplay turned into a frag fest, which ended up being a round win for Karn Co.
And I feel like that's how Karn Co like to do it. It ain't always clean, but it gets the job done. And in that particular case, yeah, disaster. But then they got the job done.
When in doubt, just rely on Mikey.
Yeah, exactly. He'll step up, he'll get some kills, and he will do what he was supposed to do and cover the planter behind the Osa shield. But a perfect example of how Osa can be used well, because it forces the defenders, especially when they're out of C4s, to run at you. They can't just sit around and hope the plant gets denied by an Evil Eye or a C4 or something. They need to get in your face, vault the shield, take you down, something that is very hard to do in that particular corner. So it was well read into by Karn Co, and a good overall strat that ended up working out. So now looking to round number 2, Outlast not opting to repeat the bomb site. They're going to head to Aviator in games next. Looks like they'll be relying on a little bit of a main stairs hold, but nothing too crazy, because right now Karn Co, they're not applying too much pressure to any particular position.
Somebody just shot at Whitlock. There were like 2 people by red stairs, so I don't exactly know who that was, but Whitlock did come under fire, and he immediately backed off, settling for those air jabs. It's Woos, though, with the opening pick once again on to Feltwinter. Feltwinter is someone who has either been the star of the show for Karn Co or been completely asleep at the wheel, and I'm really hoping it's not going to be the latter for this game, because he's been the opening pick twice so far.
Yeah, not a great start, only 2 rounds in, certainly a lot of time to bounce back, but you're right, especially for your Finka player. That is a weapon that Karn Co would love to use as best they can. Zeno will start fragging out himself, and he will take the life of Blank, who is also shut down at this point. Whitlock falls next, thanks to some good heads-up play from Jewel. Good awareness there that Whitlock was stepping up, so Jewel holding this position in Classical Hall. Well, he found a good chance to take the gunfight, and he capitalized. Mikey has also been quite lit up here, and Jewel, he's about to spot him out, and there it goes. He'll swing, and he'll take another. That's 3. Can he go for the quad? Not quite. Karn will shut him down, but he now finds himself in a 1 versus 3. With 60 seconds left, no intel, and a defender staring right at him. It's Atheno who gets the kill, and Outlast tie it up.
The main take, clearly not going as planned. Kill through the floor from Jewel. Mikey blindsided by Jewel once again, just pushing up books, because despite having main stairs control, as well as top main and attempting to push through study, there was no one watching books. Mikey was alone, and he had to worry about someone downstairs. There was a blue body, I believe, Woos, in living room. He's chilling. putting the pressure on, and he didn't have to do anything. Mikey was distracted enough for Jewel to walk in, get the kill, and deny the refrag from Xeno. Huge play from the Cade, and ties up the score. We go on a trophy now for Outlast, and it's still going to be Jewel on the Cade. He's been a demon on that AUG so far, so I see no reason to swap him off of it. Atheno also bringing out that Rooney to help supplement Jaeger. So a lot of that projectile denial. And if Karn Co, I don't know. If Karn Co aren't taking below here, then I really got to question what they're doing, because they have 6 nades. All right, never mind. Completely disregard what I just said. Xeno swapping to Ash for whatever reason.
Curious. But he is the guy to pick up the weird ops. He did run the Oster just 2 rounds ago, so we know he can make it work. Hey, plus he's got 2 claymores. Who doesn't love 2 claymores?
Yeah.
So
2 claymores.
yes, instead of just 1 now, you get to carry 2 in your pocket. That's awesome. Extra runouts to prevent. Not like we see those on Villa all that much, but you never know. Outlast could throw something at them. You know, we did see some aggression from Jewel in these first 2 rounds. He has just been taking gunfights confidently. In this round, we also have Woos down below, playing in living room and library, just lurking nearby this main stairs entry as Karn Co work their way in. It does appear that Karn Co are going to be going for the top floor clear, entering through study, clearing their way through aviator and games, before eventually pressuring the site itself. And for the most part, Outlast don't appear to be contesting this entry head on.
Yeah, no engagements a minute in. Outlast have decided to play rather passive towards the bomb site. There is one downstairs. I think I just saw an orange silhouette. That's Woos in bike, playing as that Malusi. He doesn't have a C4, so he's not too much of a threat to these attackers while he's downstairs, but he will prevent anyone trying to rotate late to Astro if Karn Co end up going for that play. Now, it's been over a minute 20, Jonah, and Feltwinter is still up. Market improvement from him as a player so far through the first 3 rounds. Glad to see he's still alive. He's still got his nades too. All those Finka boosts. So hopefully we see Feltwinter actually affect the round this time.
Yeah, he's got a chance not only to keep his gun up, but those Finka boosts can help the entire team get frags. And, well, Karn, he is... well, looked like he was challenging on someone for a moment, but he'll just send a drone in and back off to join with his teammate, Mikey. Now that Karn Co have that control they need of that, well, east-south side of the map, the next step is to pressure the master side and pressure that triple wall. The X-Kairos pellets detonating, that means we've got this opening onto the site that Karn Co are looking for, but a long-range fight taken by Atheno results in Mikey getting down. He'll get picked back up by a well-timed Finka boost, but Karn Co have yet to make a move or get a kill. Jewel will finally fall thanks to a swing by Feltwinter, but unfortunately for him, he gets down in the middle of the site. Tra will take down Whitlock with him. Karn gets one back, and Mikey will get a second. Blank hits the floor, and it's all up to Woos just like that. All 4 of these attackers for Karn Co now hunting this player down. Looks like they know where he is, so the next step is just to get this bomb on the floor. There's Feltwinter. He'll step up and take down Woos as he rotates back up the red stairs, and it did look like Feltwinter, since he was alive, he made quite an impact.
He did, not only with his gun, downing 1 player, and also being able to res Mikey earlier in the round, res himself after Tra was traded out, killing Whitlock. There was also Jewel dying, or was that Jewel dying? Someone died picking someone up in trophy. Jewel was one of those players. That was a bit comical. They were very exposed there. I don't know why he decided to go for the res with Karn Co like storming into the site like that. But either way, Karn Co very effectively were able to drone into the site, see that there was really not a lot challenging statue with the exception of Traz on Astro Split. So once that was taken care of, they had a whole lot of site control. Mikey denying that bathroom rotate as well. The Malusi not being able to do anything from below because she is, you know, Malusi. She doesn't have C4. She tried her best with the impact, but it was to no avail. Karn Co got a lot of free control. And like Tanner said, if you give Karn Co that control, if you let them set up, sure, it might get messy, but they will come away with the win more often than not.
Well, now Outlast, they'll actually head back to Kitchen and Dining. Not going to go for the back-to-back trophy and statuary sites. They're instead going to go for their second attempt at kitchen. First time, of course, in round 1, where Karn Co brought in the Osa plant and that kind of aggression. This time, we're going to see Karn Co change up their strat, though. They are going to put Xeno on the Ashe instead of on that Osa, and based on the way they're making this entry, well, it's possible they thought this was trophy and statuary, but either way, maybe they've made this adjustment. They're going for this horizontal push instead of that full vertical clear, at least for now. So it is possible that they just want to go through a different style of attack, having Xeno spearhead this attack just with frags and maybe some claymores rather than the Osa shield.
Oh, there's someone on his hatch. Xeno maybe not aware of that previously. He'll jump in and avoid the shots for now. Outlast are, of course, roaming on the upstairs, but Xeno is largely ignoring it. Other than passing by that hatch, which it looked like he was nervous about, he's made his way through Bike and could potentially just walk through China if no one from Outlast is watching it. Jewel is preoccupied. Mikey is already down red. Feltwinter is in the hallway trying to nade Blank, but the nade does not go far enough in the doorway. Unfortunate there for the Finka, but lucky for Blank, he'll survive. He's still got that pulse scanner. And curiously enough, no one from Karn Co. They are completely ignoring this upstairs hold.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this does mean that they are going to be likely quicker on the attack, but there's so much risk with a play like this. If Outlast can leverage the vertical control and use some soft destruction to get some angles down below, you've got a nice angle down into Memo, usually from up above, and if Outlast can exploit that, then Karn Co, they may not stand a chance. Things will open up with a nice C4 from Jewel, but a well-timed Finka boost again will revive himself, Feltwinter, and they'll end up taking down Jewel right in response. Mikey looking to get active as well and getting aggressive, but it's actually Whitlock who lands a kill on the board. Another C4, and the final C4 from Outlast is wasted. Mikey gets a little bit of damage, but no kill is found. Lake now has to go big with the pistol
Mikey
in
just
hand,
walks in?
looks the other way while Mikey just walks in through the smoke, and Outlast are crumbling. Atheno steps up with a shotgun and gets one. Woos will find another, and this is not out of the question for Outlast just yet, but they have to find a way to deny the plant. Karn trying to get this down by Tetris with one smoke. Atheno could throw this out to choke off an angle. He'll just swing with the SMG-11, and Mikey is taken down. Woos up above has some sort of vertical control here, but Feltwinter will shut down the last defender on the site. This means that Woos will have to get a move on. Otherwise, we are going to be in a post plant, and he is going to be in a lot of trouble. He spots him out. He takes down Karn from above, and this one has turned into a 1v1. Feltwinter is now desperate just to find a safe spot to plant. Woos is going to try to rotate around and drop down in time, but he'll be a little bit late. Feltwinter can get off this plant now and get aggressive. He will. He'll take the fight and win it. Karn Co squeak out that round.
Wow, that was a close one. I really like the idea from Karn Co to take advantage of the C4 and the Finka res. Those Finka reses have been absolutely clutch from Feltwinter, by the way. Great job from him. Mikey gets that kill onto the Cade. Whitlock follows it up, I believe, upstairs. Because we saw, I had mentioned no one was pushing upstairs, but Whitlock was the lone man. He was in Skull. He was watching a drone. So he likely got someone rotating towards top red to try and stop the push. Mikey, like, I thought the smoke was close enough to the doorway, but I guess Atheno, whoever was playing smoke, it may have been Blank, just narrowly missed it, allowing Mikey to push in and get the kill. Meanwhile, Outlast start to retake and actually get a couple kills. Atheno frags Mikey 2 versus 2. Karn Co slow down. They take the 2 versus 1, which was really smart. And then Woos upstairs, killing that planter. What an attempt from the Aruni. Unfortunately, you know, coming down to the 1v1 like that, he couldn't use the floor angle again. Feltwinter just got the plant down, and, you know, LMG things for Feltwinter. But, you know, I guess that's what happens when Feltwinter is allowed to actually do stuff when he's not first pick. We see Feltwinter have a massive impact on these rounds, and is a big part of why Karn Co has taken the last 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's crazy how effective he has been, like you said, not just in the frags, which now he has 4, which is solid, but it's really the Finka boosts that have been insane. Jewel was able to get a C4, what he thought was a kill, it was a down, and Feltwinter quickly picked himself back up. It's that easy. Now, Outlast are gonna try to find that opening kill again that they've been successful with, at least through those first 2 rounds. If they can take care of Feltwinter, I mean, the entire attack from Karn Co at that point is just on just the level of difficulty is a little bit elevated because they won't have that extra health. They won't have the ability to just pick themselves back up in these clutch situations. And there it is, right on cue. Woos will take down Feltwinter as predicted, but I've got to wonder what Feltwinter was doing there so alone. Woos, he just runs out Study Bal. Casino not paying attention. Whitlock is now also vulnerable to this unless he's careful.
Both him and Whitlock were on drones, so there's no chance for a refrag. That was weird. I mean, Woos, I guess, has... I can't say that. Woos is brave, I guess we'll go with. Getting that opening pick on a Feltwinter, shutting down the Finkaboos that have been so important for Karn Co thus far, and running out. Then Whitlock with no info. There it is again, Karn Co. When you deny their drones, you deny their entry. Whitlock is dead. Karn gets slapped. Mikey's alone in a 1 versus 5. He's done some great things, but he can't clutch a 1v5. As Fellow likes to say, it's a buddy ace between the new pickups of Tra and Woos.
Well, it is a mess, is what it really is. Karn Co. I got no idea what they were doing there, man. That was a mess. It started out with Feltwinter just walking in and just getting fried on the main stairs. Didn't have anybody to refrag him. Then it started with the rest of Karn Co. just getting complacent, not realizing that Outlast have a special way of playing the game. And yeah, they just ran out Study Balk. Woos just got aggressive, went insane, and took them down. It really was just dominance. That's why it was a flawless round. Karn Co. didn't seem to stand a chance. Crazy how different some of these rounds have felt. Both of these teams bringing out some pretty unique strategies and trying to keep things loose, keep things spicy, but, you know, sometimes it's working and sometimes it is not.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Outlast deciding, hey, if we play forward, if we deny those drones, if we, you know, disallow Karn Co. to set up, and there's not a whole lot they can do. It's a criticism that we've had for Karn Co. this entire season so far, and I'm glad that Outlast have finally learned it. Because Karn Co. do a lot of the same thing, right? They do a lot of dry runs, and it's kind of weird to say that despite, you know, the Karn 9 to 5, their strats tend to stay pretty static. So, I mean, if Outlast has read into that, I mean, mind you, that was a trophy defense. That was the roam clear that Karn Co. just got shut down on. Now the site is AVG, and if Outlast keep reading into that and keep the pressure on, Karn Co. might fail to get in the building again.
Well, Mikey is going to look to make the move down below, and, well, his first victim potentially could be Tra, as he slinks his way back towards the red stairs and tucks himself in a corner. Just wants to avoid this initial pressure. Feltwinter, I was worried there for a second. We had a run out from Woos, and he looked to take the life of Felt again, but instead the opening pick is found by Mikey. He'll take the kill onto Jewel, and just like that, Karn Co. will get the opener that they have been searching for. Feltwinter is still alive. He was able to heal himself back up a little bit, so crisis averted for now.
That's on one of those C4 operators too, so Outlast are going to be heavily relying on Atheno and Blank to stop that plant, but Atheno's using his gas canisters to deny main stairs, so largely on that Chonka, but Mikey's caught with a nade in hand. Woos gets that kill. No refrag from Feltwinter just yet. He's got an LMG and the Aruni is low, but he's scared about main stairs, and watching it's not going to pay off. He'll go down. Woos and Tra both chime in to get Whitlock attempting to find the refrag, and Karn and Zeno are now left in a 2 versus 4. Because Karn Co. don't know how to take main stairs properly against someone playing in Living. Again, Outlast play forward. They try to deny Karn Co. every time they set up for the take, and it's successful. Now Karn and Zeno, I mean, they have a minute 20 to play with. That's a decent amount of time, but again, against Athena with 2 gas canisters, against Blank, who's got 12 Shumika grenades, there's not a whole lot they're going to be able to do unless Outlast give them the ones they're looking for.
Zeno looking to take the fight. He'll get quickly wasted by Woos. Tra soon to follow onto Karn, and just like that, we are tied up at 3. Outlast keeping this one close. Karn struggling on the attack to get much going at all. But if you're out there, a Karn Co. fan, and you are panicking right now that they weren't able to get more than 3 on the attack, I would tell you, fear not. Outlast, they can play defense. But really the winning question for them is, can they attack? And the answer, for the most part, over the course of the last 6 playdays has been no. They cannot attack. Maybe we're seeing a different Outlast today. They have looked fine on the defensive side. But this is still, I'd argue, heavily in Karn Co's favor since they emerged from the half with a 3-3 even split.
Yeah, the rounds that Karn Co won, it was like, it wasn't great, but it was fine. You know, they were wins. The rounds that Karn Co lost, they looked atrocious. It was not great. Especially the last 2 rounds, right? Outlast played in their face. Karn Co had absolutely no idea what to do. I also think that previous round on AVG was also a 3K for Woos and a 2K for... I think that was another buddy ace between the two. Although I think Atheno may have gotten the down on Feltwinter. Oh, no, because Feltwinter rezzed himself. So technically, it didn't count as Atheno's kill. I think. I'm reading that. I don't know. This game is confusing sometimes. But either way, Tra and Woos have been phenomenal so far. We know Tra can do it. We've seen Tra do it. But Woos has, in large part, taken a while to get acclimated to Challenger League and get acclimated to his roster. But if he's going to start heating up now, it might be the perfect time for them. Get this win against Karn Co. Get a win in one of your latter games, and you shove Karn Co down into that relegation spot.
Like you said, though, it'll take more than just the one win. They've got to put a couple of good games together, and this could be the start. But they need to show us that they can attack as well as defend. That could start here with a sneaky play from Atheno. He's on the Nook. He'll work his way in from the kitchen side, potentially to surprise this defense from the back if he sneaks his way up the Astro stairs or the red stairs, as is pretty common with a Nook play. Whitlock is potentially lying in wait, though, not only for Atheno, but for the other couple of teammates who are working their way down here. Tra is one of those, as the Iana works his way into a potential nade spot. He's got 2 nades in pocket, and, well, with the entire floor of the site soft-destructible, he could get active here and look for some kills.
Is there someone... Ooh, there's someone in Memo. It could potentially spring on the man red. Whitlock looks to be aware of presence there, though. Especially with a drone coming in from blank. Whitlock knows he's about to be pressured. Atheno does still have 2 nades in pocket. So Jaeger has to be careful, especially as another drone comes in. Outlast are starting to pinch him on all sides, and Whitlock very wisely is going to fall back. I like the decision there from the Jaeger. I mean, there are 3 different angles being established from Outlast, and he knows he can't fight all 3 of them at once. So not only does he waste a significant bit of time, but he goes back to the site, and it's a 5 versus 5 with Outlast struggling to make stuff happen in the building. Karn Co have not given them the entry engagement yet.
Whitlock hunting for something on the drone hole, maybe a couple of bullets. Mikey will take a few bullets as he relocates, actually taking firm control of the top of main stairs. Doesn't want to allow Outlast to fully pressure that out just yet. We don't see a ton of utility dedicated to that position, but in the same vein, we don't see Outlast pushing that either. Instead, their focus remains on this north side, on the trophy side, this 90 side, and now working their way up on through. Mikey will get down, though, in study as Karn takes the fight with blank on the study balk. With the bearing 9 in hand, he will clean up them both just like that. It's Outlast on top here in a 5v3. 15 seconds. Blank will collect a triple kill. Working his way. Can he get 4? Yes. The one more around the corner is waiting for him. That's Zeno. Blank, he'll swing it, and he will secure the ace. That is a flawless round for Outlast, thanks to a monstrous performance from their support player.
Outlast took 2 minutes to clear red. 2 minutes. And then that I like Karn. I love you. But you are a troller for that one. Hibana was out of ammo after downing Mikey. Karn with smoke shotgun swings study belt. He is like 5 feet away from the Hibana. Pumps twice. He has time to get 2 pumps off and doesn't get the kill. That's a troll. Either don't get greedy and go for the refrag, or hit your goddamn pumps. Because that was inexcusable. And that just leads to blank getting an ace because Outlast take study, they storm in with a 5v3 man advantage, and they play trades. I mean, they didn't even really need to play trades. It was a flawless round with Atheno like on the floor or something. And Karn Co were simply overwhelmed, and they give Outlast the lead. That round is troubling. Just, you know, mincing words.
Well, we may have our answer. Outlast can attack, or is it that just Karn Co cannot successfully defend? Excuse me. I think that pattern will emerge as we look to round 8 here. Mikey on the side of Karn Co is looking to be that forward aspect of this extension over towards the Aviator and Games side, as the rest of the defense is either down below or backed off on the site itself. In this case, Trophy and Statuary, the site of choice for Karn Co, not opting for the repeat, not opting for Kitchen and Dining just yet either. But this has given Outlast control of 90. At least Woos is looking to solidify that. Has to worry about red stairs and the statuary door. Interestingly enough, Karn Co, they're not even going to bother to contest that at all. They will both back off quickly. Mikey, who was initially over on the Aviator side, will also back off, putting Zeno in a bit of danger, who is down below and now no longer safe whatsoever. Atheno eventually gets felled by a nice little hip fire, as actually Feltwinter will be the one to claim the kill, trying to support his teammate if he can, but Jewel gets the trade. Woo's hunting for another as well.
And as the Finca starts to storm in, Zeno is forced all the way back. Cannot play underneath where he wanted to, because Outlast are completely forcing him. They are fully taking this bottom floor. I mean, they have nades to do it. Woos and Tross still have some in pocket, despite Atheno dying. There's 4 on the side of Outlast, but looks like it might just be Jewel sitting down here as the flank watch, ensuring that no one from Karn Co can get a C4 down below. You know, again, namely Zeno on that pulse scanner. Mikey also an opportunity to perhaps rotate down since he's so close to Astro Stairs, but never mind. Mikey swinging onto Boar from behind Deer gets cut down. No one's finished him off just yet. He could get rezzed, and there it is. So back to 4 men, and Zeno answers with a C4 before Karn is refragged by Jewel coming up the Astro steps. Whitlock kills Blank in sight. Jewel another. Whitlock a double, and Whitlock goes huge. A triple kill for the Jaeger. Karn Co able to claw the round back.
Okay, so they will keep us tied and keep things close. Again, it got messy there for Karn Co, but like you said, they will claw it back. Good job from Outlast, I gotta say, to just work their way in the building quickly. They took control of Aviator and Games almost instantly, but also Karn Co made the right move as to not contest that too heavily. As we've seen, when Karn Co do try to get aggressive, Outlast, they find a way to punish that, at least so far within these first 2 rounds on the Karn Co defense. Karn Co decided, after the first round mishap, to just slowly back off, give Outlast that control, and wait for the pressure to build on the actual objective. They were able to win those fights and tie us up because of it. Looks like they'll want to take a timeout, though, to make sure they can keep things composed as they go forward.
They're bringing the pulse back. Definitely worked for a C4 kill in the previous round. Got 2 more in the pockets of Zeno and Mikey. So this dining room hold should be dangerous for Outlast to try and clear from up above. They're still sticking that Nook, which is interesting. It hasn't really done a whole lot on this attack just yet. Everything Atheno has done could have been done by a different operator. He hasn't really done a whole lot. Downed in round number 1 and opening picked in the previous round, but you know, they want to keep it, I guess. They'll swap onto Hibana from Capitao. I don't really know why Blank was playing on that Capitao, but you know, they need a hard breacher for this site, so we'll opt to take Blank, and there it is. Atheno off Nook onto Jackal. Just try and make this top floor clear a little faster.
Looks like he pranked you there. Might be switching up.
Never mind. He's
again.
I can stop the pulse.
You still got a couple of seconds to figure it out, but, well, now that we crossed that 3-second mark, those operators locked in, and we are good to go. So, yeah, we've got the IQ confirmed Blank on the Hibana. Looks like Atheno looking to spot out gadgets and Karn on the pulse, rather than on the Jackal and spotting out the little feet of all the defenders as they work their way all over this map. The thing with the Pulse and the IQ counter to the Pulse is you've got to get in the building first. You've got to actually have a soft floor to shoot through if you want to take him down. And if you don't do that, the only real way to do it will be to, well, just maybe pressure from a doorway and sneak inside. They'll know where Karn is positioned either way. Just comes down to if you can actually take him down. Maybe not. Maybe Karn is going to play in a little bit more of an unexpected position. I mean, right now, suspecting that Outlast may go a bit more horizontal, he's not actually in the site. He's extended over towards living room and library instead. And, well, Atheno, he's spotting him out, and he'll light up Karn just a bit.
The Pulse will back off just a little bit because he's aware of that presence, and he won't be allowed to. Jewel has a cutoff. Well played by Outlast to deny the Pulse scanner. That is a massive bit of info and a lot that supplements the C4 play. Now gone from this defense. So if Mikey sends it up, it'll largely be blind. In the meantime, Outlast have established themselves on the top floor. They've already pushed in through 90 inside of Boar, who knows the Wamai is there, misses a couple shots. He and Feltwinter both evade each other's bullets for now as Zeno sends up the C4. Feltwinter 1 kill, Mikey another explosive. And despite Outlast getting the opener, Karn Co say, we don't need the Pulse. We'll land the C4s anyway and put themselves in a 4 versus 2.
Careful, though. These have quickly gone back in the favor of the other team on several occasions. Both of these teams, they get scrappy with it. Jewel could do the same thing here as he works his way in. There goes Zeno on Tetris. The other kill found by Blank just a moment ago. Jewel should have the advantage here, and he does. That's 3 for him. Feltwinter is last alive. He'll get thrown across the room, and it is Jewel with a quad kill. Outlast with a beautiful 2v4 clutch.
I am in disbelief.
Predicted.
Jewel with the 4K, shutting down Karn Co's hopes and dreams. It was 3 kills in a row from Karn Co after the initial pick. And they still couldn't do it. Jewel walks in, kills the guy Tetris, and then Karn Co. Or not Karn Co. I don't know why I said the whole team name. Carnage B. Carnage Basketball. What are you doing? Angles like that, right? Where the wall is like half destroyed. It's destroyed more on the bottom than it is on the top. That means, from your POV, as a defender peeking that angle, you're just, looking next to the high part of the wall at head level. The attacker is going to be able to see your feet before you can react. That's exactly what happened to Carnage. Poor positioning on the angle, gives his life, and then Feltwinter attempts to flank upstairs, only to find that his pantry barricade is still closed. Not only that, there was an air jab on the doorway anyway. He thought the impact would get it, and it just didn't. Sad stuff for Karn Co, but beautiful play from Outlast, specifically Jewel. He has been on a heater all game, 12-6 now.
Yeah, I mean, heating up and getting 4 in that last round put his team over the top. That's exactly when you need a player like Jewel to step up, and he did not disappoint. Karn Co now struggling to find consistency on the defense. They'll be heading back to Aviator in games in an effort to try this one again. You've got Atheno, who is again on the Nook and is going to be creeping his way through the building, but just like attackers can rat, I think Karn Co, they might want to do a little bit of ratting as well. Mikey, he was tucked down in the basement a moment ago, but now he's just sneaking his way back towards the red stairs, maybe to play a little bit more actively. But Trosh should know of his position. Mikey's been droned out several times, so the Sledge will be careful to avoid that initially. And now that Mikey has gone to the basement again, risks being droned out by Jewel, but I don't think he was seen.
I think you might be right. I don't think Jewel saw him. Mikey could come upstairs. The only person who he could really affect, though, is Atheno, but the Nook will very quickly back off. Woos has some nade presence from below. They're getting some pings, but Zeno through the floor claps Jewel. Big player on the attacking half for Outlast so far. Cut down first, and that is sure to hurt. Not a lot of people on Outlast have been doing things consistently on this attacking half other than him. So, and you lose those air jabs, if there were any in pocket. I have a problem with keeping track of how many air jabs were shot by Nomad before she died. I'm gonna assume he shot at least 1 or 2. And there's Mikey's ascent from the basement coming into play. He catches Woo's the Finka, another very important pick.
Ooh,
And
Blank
Hibana
getting downed here. Yeah, he gets another. Finally felled by Tra, but there is still another player on the red stairs that Tra has to deal with. Probably expects he's gone prone now, but doesn't matter. Whitlock wins the fight either way. Atheno finally making an impact on the Nook and making an appearance. Will shut down Whitlock, but now has to go pretty clutch with these grenades or just clutch it up with the gun. I doubt Karn Co will throw 2 rounds in a row here. They're going to probably play this one a lot more passively than the last and let Atheno dig himself into his own grave. He'll work his way up the main stairs. Karn is lying in wait behind this deployable shield.
Wow,
a
that
quick
is
one pump.
disgusting.
And that is how the round ends. A beautiful angle
gross.
on this shield. He sees him. Oh, just a pixel of movement. He pops up and he takes him down.
Karn went from whiffing 2 pumps to holding a terrible angle to doing that. That was gross. I'll never forgive you for that, Carnage Brandon. But either way, beautiful roam from Mikey is the highlight of that round. I mean, sure, Zeno got a kill through the floor. Whitlock got Mikey's refrag on red stairs, but Mikey made a huge effort on red to kill not 1, but 2 different players, being the Hard Breach and the Finka. So, beautiful stuff for Mikey. And that's really all that round came down to. Outlast tried forcing it up red, and it didn't work. And round was that simple. Karn Co will move on to trophy now. This site came very close. Way too close for comfort. Whitlock saved it with the 3K, but they did win it. So, it's Karn Co's best chance to secure match point, get that single point on the board, maybe beat Outlast. Who knows? Because right now, I could fully see, I'm fully expecting overtime.
Yeah, I mean, this has gone back and forth for the entire defensive half of Karn Co. They can have a good round here, and then they just have a terrible round here. And the same thing goes for Outlast. It's just both teams struggling to just keep some sort of consistency on either side. And yeah, they're just trading mistakes. They're just trading rounds. And I think, honestly, overtime, it benefits Karn Co. more than it benefits Outlast. Outlast need all the points they can get. And Karn Co., they're at the bottom of this leaderboard too, but they're not facing the threat of relegation, and Outlast are. They need to dig themselves out of this hole, and it's going to take more than just 1 or 2 OT points. They need a couple of good performances, and if Karn can snag just 1 point, they will continue to just push Outlast deeper and deeper into that hole. Obviously, some points is better than nothing. Let's not get that mistaken. If Outlast get any points here, it is better than walking away with another regulation loss, but as far as their hopes staying in CL for Stage 2 are concerned, they have got to turn it around right here. Round 11, Karn Co. back to trophy and statuary. Outlast, another south side entry. Looks like they want to work their way across.
Jonah, who was it that said, oh, quick day today, when they saw the last game? Was it Perp?
It was Perp, yes. I think we're going to have to fire him. Yeah.
We are going to have to fire that. Tra will fire Mikey off the map. Down goes the mute. Beautiful headshot. That's also Mikey dead. Huge player for Karn Co. In fact, the only player currently positive. Feltwinter's going to try and change that, though. Say, you know what? I can go even at least. Take out Jewel. Again, felling the beast for Outlast as he's been on this attack so far. Whitlock, once again, holding red, who wasted so much time every time he's been playing here. Atheno taking so much damage from the SMG-11, I believe, of Karn. At least that's what it sounded like. Woo's trying to pinch in for Zeno. The LMG loses to the UMP. That's not how that's supposed to go. And he'll find a second headshot from Zeno. Beautiful on Atheno, shutting down that downstairs clear and putting Outlast in another 2 versus 4.
Well, Karn Co. have found it again. They've found a way to bounce back here, and, well, they're on the precipice of taking yet another. But does this feel eerily similar to 2 rounds ago? You'd be right if you think so. It's a 2v4. Blank still alive. It's Tron, not Jewel, but this is still very doable. Just as Feltwinter takes that kill, though, now it is Blank fighting quite an uphill battle, picking up one onto Feltwinter, but whips out the Bearing 9, has to charge through this smoke if he wants to get this kill onto Karn, and a shotgun to greet him around the other side of this angle. Yeah, that's not too promising. He still finds a way to down Karn. I have no idea what Karn is doing there, but you do have a teammate nearby to find the trade. Karn Co will not make the same mistake again. They'll put themselves on match point, and they still have the potential of putting this one away in regulation.
Excellent work from Zeno downstairs as that pulse, denying the roam clear that had its sights set on him. Destroying the LMG of Finka, a fight that you don't typically see a pulse win, and then just lopping the head off of Athena. I mean, that pretty much shut the round down, especially after that opening pick, really not opening pick, but response to the opening pick onto Jewel from Feltwinter. That was 3 for Zeno and 2 for Felt, if I'm not mistaken. And Karn Co do confirm that point. They have 6. Outlast, likely not very happy. If Karn Co win this next round, they will be at 12 points, Jonah. Outlast will still be at 5. And unfortunately, Outlast only have 1 game remaining.
Really?
Or
Not
no,
2?
they have 2. They have 2. Never mind.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay.
I looked at the heist, and I saw their forfeit win, but I didn't see they play twice on Playday 9. They play against Aqualix and TTK. So, if Karn Co win in regulation, they will be at 12 points. Outlast currently have 5. Even if they beat Aqualix and took the kids in regulation, they can only get a max of 6 and will be stuck at 11. And they can't pass Karn Co. Now, Nocturnes and Aqualix are both at 10. So, you know, it's possible. But it is very unlikely.
They've got a chance here to put it away on this kitchen and dining defense. Karn Co do. They'll be looking to find 2 rounds in a row, something that neither team has been able to do all that consistently. It's happened here and there, but nothing too crazy. Neither team has gone on a run or anything like that. Feltwinter finds himself stuck in bathroom for a moment, but he will dip and dodge his way out of that position, joined by Whitlock on the top floor, hoping to hold this down with the support of Karn down below. He's got the heartbeat sensor, no IQ on the side of Outlast to identify that. They may suspect it, but it doesn't mean that, well, they're going to be safe from it. There could always be a C4 that works its way up, but despite the intel, Feltwinter is actually going to die regardless, the first player down.
Well done to Tra to get that opening pick. It's also the Womai. That's one of those top floor roamers, so you alleviate a little bit of that pressure, maybe all of it. I think everyone's rotated back. Yeah, the only player who can challenge top stairs is Whitlock on Astro, but other than that, the attackers largely have this control. The next thing they have to worry about is the C4 presence, because Karn is on that pulse. He's not being challenged. There's no IQ, as you already pointed out, and there are 3 C4s with Outlast's name on it, though the first one will miss. There's still 2 more opportunities.
Yeah, Mikey has one, Zeno has another. But the pressure from above, still dangerous, even with that explosive potential on the defense. Not clear yet if Mikey and Zeno want to save those for the execute, or if they are going to use those to deny some of that vertical destruction. But based on the fact that the sledge is just sledging away, Tra's having a blast up there, and the fact that Zeno and Mikey still have those C4s in pocket, looks like they want to save them for just a bit longer. Zeno positioned in pantry, Mikey actually walking himself back up the Astro stairs, and he'll take Tra to equalize us in a 4v4.
Now, luckily for Outlast, much of Tra's job has already been done. No additional holes will be open, but he's already opened quite a bit. It's Karn, though, to get the next frag. On Blank, one of the men trying to push Laundry. He drops Case, but the Finka is aware of his position. He'll try getting the frag, and there it is. On to Karn. No trade from the defense just yet, meaning we're still equal at 3 apiece. Whitlock will get spotted rotating. There's not a whole lot that Atheno can do about it, as he now carries that Case and makes his way into the bomb site. run into Tetris right by the A-bomb chassis and start getting this plant down, but here's where the C4s come into play. Perfect toss from Zeno. 5 seconds left. Someone from Outlast needs to step up. Woos will get a kill, an equalizer once again. Zeno has no C4. Woos will kill him. It's all up to Whitlock in a 1 versus 2. The plant goes down, but both these attackers are in the same spot, and he can't win the fight. Jewel goes huge again for Outlast, and we're sent to overtime.
Oh boy, that's a nail biter, and Outlast hang in once again by the skin of their teeth. Karn Co cannot manage to take a kitchen and dining defense without somehow, I mean, just tossing a lead of some kind. I have no idea how Outlast win that. After the initial planter gets C4'd with 5 seconds left, Jewel sprints in to get the bomb down. I mean, that's ridiculous. Well played by them, no doubt about that. But Karn Co, they just can't defend kitchen. They need to stay away from that site. And
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Just defend living room library from now on.
You might as well, because if that's what's going to happen on kitchen and dining on 2 separate occasions, just change it up. You can't allow that to happen on multiple times. So here we have overtime, our first overtime of the day and our final series of the day, and it is messy. That is one word to describe how this is going right now. But really, it comes down to which team can clean up that mess, or at least reduce the amount of mess that they're making in a round. That is who ends up winning it. Outlast, they may neglect to cover some angles and make a mess of that, but if they can throw Jewel in there to pick up another clutch, voila, you've got a round. So maybe it's just about designating, you're gonna kill me for this one, Harrison, but it's like designating a Roomba on each team, right? After you make a mess, you have them just work their way through the site and you know, clean it up for you. Exactly, you just slurp it up. That's what you need here.
Well, after that analogy. You know what else I just noticed? This game is in overtime and only Mikey is positive still. That is wild.
Wow.
That just goes to show, I mean, the rounds that Karn Co are winning are much closer than the ones that Outlast are winning. Actually, yeah, almost every single round that Karn Co have won, right? 2 up, 1v1, 2 up. Only recently have they won like a semblance of a dominant round. Meanwhile, Outlast have had 3 up, flawless. They've had 2 flawless rounds, multiple rounds with 3 people still alive, 1 with 4 people still alive. It's been a lot closer for Karn Co when they're winning rounds. That's pretty much the story of this game so far. When Outlast win rounds, they look good. When Karn Co win rounds, they still look kind of eh. It's not great. Doesn't bode well for future games in this season. But I mean, hey, we got Chanka, we got Smoke, we got a C4. We have a whole lot of delay power for Karn Co here.
Well, Outlast, they don't want to be delayed at all here. Look at this utility burn and a well-timed nade to just tear Whitlock apart. That is beautiful. Already a good start for Outlast. This is how they needed to begin. Whitlock has been shut down. Now Mikey, after he liked to rat in the basement, he will actually retreat and take Whitlock's position. This is dangerous, again, because all of that utility has been burned away. There's no protection for him other than the element of surprise. He was droned out instantly, and Tra will get another. Beautiful. On this roam clear, on these extended defenders, they have been torn apart. Outlast sitting pretty now in a 5 versus 3. It's Karn Co's turn to clutch it up. You've got Zeno playing close and study. The players in the study on Karn Co have been having a very tough time for the most part from Outlast's aggression. Maybe this is where Zeno can turn it around. He's got a C4. There's only 1 player on that study balk. Zeno will make the smart decision, though, and drop down and rotate around instead of pressuring it directly. Maybe he can use this C4 late game, but oh no. Tra spotted him out. This is going to be a free kill for him. That's 2 for him.
Excellent play by Tra, spotting the shadow of Zeno, and the Chanka gets killed trying to rotate back. It's all on Karn. He gets 1 and is knifed in the face! Woo! I gotta see this.
Donk.
Outlast take the first point in overtime. Quite comically, I might add. And wow, Karn Co just looks so incredibly mid. Like, what happened? They're looking like, you know what they look like? They look like freaking Livid. Back when they had, like when they first started this team, back when they had Cabal. That's what this play reminds me of. They look like when they were Livid and they were like a bottom tier team. This is not the Karn Co that we've seen make a steady progression, a steady rise through the ranks. They've regressed. They've like de-evolved or something back to, I don't know, Australopithecus or something. They're just monkeying around the map. I don't know what they're doing. Trophy is now the site that Outlast will try and stake this game on. A site that they are, you know, they're 1-1 on it. So it's not the best. It's not the worst either. Actually, why wouldn't they go for an AVG defense? They're 2-0 on it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe they are probably deciding that Karn Co will make some adjustments, and that going there a third time and having Karn Co see the same setup a third time is risky. But Trophy and Statuary, they didn't take the first, but whatever adjustments that Outlast had made worked for the second time around. So maybe that's where they are putting all of their hopes. We do see a little bit of a defensive presence down below. This is not out of the ordinary. It's Atheno and Tra taking up this position. Often we will see a bit of an entry from Whitlock or from Feltwinter down below in an effort to solidify some flanks and to cut off these roamers from actually getting back to the site. But as we've talked about several times now, risky for Feltwinter especially, who's been opening picked a lot on the attacking side. And as these drones come in, they will spot out the position of these defenders. Karn Co, based on their positioning in Laundry and now on the Pantry Stairs, it does look like they do want to contest these two defenders. One of those is Atheno. He's got some soft destruction, some punch holes to work with over here in the back hallway leading to those Astro Stairs. Actually, Jewel has also dropped down to support, and there it is. Feltwinter, the first pick. Whitlock, the second. The two players I just talked about that had to be careful as they made their entry. Zeno is the next player in the line of fire. He is in a crossfire, actually, between Atheno and Jewel. His position being held beautifully. Jewel takes the head, and all of a sudden, it is a 2v5. The hopes of Karn Co dashed.
They all rest on the shoulders of Carnage B and Mikey, the latter of which will find a kill on Atheno. We'll bring one back. Tra now tucked in the corner of Statue. Mikey peeks on over across the sights to get the headshot on Jewel. He'll burn the Aruni gate, maybe make way for his second nade. Could potentially find Woos if they know about the Jaeger's position, but they don't! Freebie for Woos! Karn now on the rappel, the only man left. They'll go up to the roof, try and figure out how the hell everything went wrong. Likely drop to the balcony to make Carnage's last stand against Outlast. Tra just under one of those master bedroom windows. He's got pings on one, but not on the Malusi. Outlast shut it down and get their second win of the season over Karn Co.
It's a win. That's all that matters. They've got the 2 points that come with an overtime victory. It didn't have to be pretty. Outlast are just trying to get themselves out of this relegation's hole. These 2 points will not be enough to do it, but it is a good start. And heading into Playday number 9 next week, that is where they need to be firing on all cylinders. Maybe they can take those elements of what worked from today, bring them to that game next week, and channel that as much as they can, because they had their moments. Let's not kid around. It was good at times. It was terrible at others. But they survived. You had a couple of good clutches, a couple of flashy plays, and they pulled it out. So props to them for that.
I don't get what's wrong with Karn Co right now. Like, you look at the, all right. Karn Co, look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes right now. Whitlock. 1 CCS. 1 multiple T3 leagues. Like 4 or something. Zeno and Whitlock. Also 1 multiple T3 leagues. These weren't like close wins either. Like, I'm mentioning them like, oh, it's T3, whatever, they're below T2. Like, they were dominant. They looked like they could contest with T2 through and through. Carnage B has been a Challenger League protagonist forever. Mikey, Sure, he didn't win a whole lot in T3, but he has been one of the most consistent performers in Challenger League this stage. Back in SCS, he was phenomenal. All 5 of these guys, like you weigh them individually, and they're all incredible. And then like just together, it's just not working. It's like how we talked about Two-Face in the past, right? All 5 of those players, so freaking good and just not meshing. The script has been flipped. ATK, one of the best teams in the league now, and Karn Co are, they're well, yeah, making me
It's all
sad.
right.
That's what they are.
It's all right. You know what? Hurting Crow's feelings, not a good idea. Not a good idea. We don't want to see him cry, especially on broadcast. So all of you out there, don't make Harrison cry. Maybe our analysts can lift your spirits a little bit, Harrison. We'll send it back to them. We'll see what they have to say about this curious matchup, boys.
Oh, curious. Oh, that is a great choice of words to describe this matchup. This was something else. And Tanner, we talked about this before the match. We said, what is it going to take for Outlast to win this? It's going to be a combination of mistakes, obviously, on the part of Karn Co, and then, you need Outlast to capitalize on them. And they did that. It was damn close, but, they earned this victory.
I guess. I guess they earned this victory. I don't know if I would say that. It just seemed like they made the least amount of mistakes this game between the 2 opponents. I mean, to answer Harrison's question, what's going on with Karn Co? I think at this point it's just like a leadership issue. I feel like if you're still running a utility meta like shields and Jaegers and Wamais, and you're putting all this these smokes, and you're using Tachanka, and you're running the wrong meta. Like, this is 2022. You can't be running a meta with no info. They have no info on site, right? And then what's that mean? What's the result of that? One player, what is it, Blank or Jewel, they're just allowed to walk in site and get an ace and get a 4K. There's no communication. There's a complete breakdown. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, this is just like, it's bad. Like, how many stages does this have to happen? Like, this team should be performing right now. Karn Co, they should be winning their games. Like I said, they have a pretty stacked roster, and yet the decision, I don't know. The decision making is baffling to me right now.
Yeah, I think one singular round is round 12, and it puts it all wrapped up in a bow. The only thing you need to know is that even with utility meta, lack of intel, struggling on the side for the defense of Karn Co, they still got the round to go exactly how they wanted. Under 5 seconds left, there is a plant going down in a very nitroable position. And guess how many nitro cells we have left on the side of Karn Co? Not 1, but 2.
That's
Guess how many of those get sent at the planter?
That's how nitroable it was. It was good enough for 2.
They both sent them, and then guess what? Somebody else picked up the diffuser and won the round, sent it to overtime. Momentum plays, 3 picks for the side of Outlast again on their attacks. They flood through. They knife Karn, and they win that game.
What is secondary utility? Like, what are grenades, flashbangs for? Let's just use our knives. That counts, right? Jesus.
Well, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. This was the fight to stave off elimination. So the only person to talk to about this is a member from the side of Outlast. It's going to be Tra.
How's it going?
Tra, congratulations on this was a must win for you guys. What was your thought going into this game? What were you guys telling yourselves?
We just really needed to win this, I mean, obviously you tell we had a rough start, 1-3, and then we brought it back 3-3. I mean, we weren't playing really. I mean, you saw like the past couple of games that we got, like we were just getting 7-1, 7-2. Just really bad start, just horrible. I mean, we tried our best, today. I mean, won the game 8-6. I'm just really excited for that, and my team is also.
Yeah, it's huge, but the work's not over yet. Obviously, you're not, totally clear.
Of course.
What's the goal to work on now? Not only to stave off the relegation, but then let's assume that you do stave off the relegation. What is your goal for your team for the year?
Just improve the team overall. I mean, obviously we were 11th place. I hope we obviously there's not really much to say. Just work better as a team. I mean, you can obviously tell our first couple games we were kind of all over the place. You know, I mean, kind of improved. I really think we improved this game also. You know, just the basic things. I'm pretty sure y'all said before. I mean, we're just really excited that we actually won our second game today. Actually,
Yeah.
really rewarding.
Well, this is huge for you guys. Congratulations, Traw. Thank you for your time and best of luck. It's going to be a tough one.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. Have a good one. Connor, one thing I wanted to talk to you about. I was looking over the notes for the game, right? Okay, just glancing over things. And remember before the game, you corrected me on something. I was asking who the entries of the team were, and you were like, Jewel. It's not Jewel. Jewel can't entry. He's not an entry. I'm pretty sure he had like the best stats, I think, and he had like some entry kills as well. What were your? Do you think he heard you?
I think he might have. He might have. My bad to John Lewis. That's on me. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
That one hurt. It was hard to watch. But at the end of the day, still got to relish in the little victories because all of a sudden we still have a couple more play days to go